Hello YouTube! So last week I put up a video called Evil Things I Did as a Child, in which I told you relatively evil things I did as a child. I've spent the last week thinking about this video and regretting that I didn't put this in, I thought of enough things that we're doing another one. We're doing round two. So the first half of this video is going to be about how I cheated at games constantly, usually at the expense of my little brother. I'm so sorry, Nick. One of the games that was my favorite to cheat at was Candyland. I didn't love Candyland so much for the mechanics of the game because it's a very simple draw a card, go to the square that the card tells you. No, what I loved it for was my addition to the rules, which was see how many times you can make your brother have to go back to Plumpy. So here's what the board looks like. Down at the bottom there is a very happy little green monster who has a little tree, probably has a pretty successful business, but everybody hates him because he's the nearest to the bottom of the board. So it became my personal goal to make sure that I retrieved the Plumpy card and put it back on the top of the stack as many times as possible so that he kept drawing it. The frustration on his young little 5-year-old face was so funny. He was just at the age where my brother didn't intellectually comprehend the amount of time it would take for Plumpy to go all the way through the deck to be back on top. Sometimes I'd mix it up and throw in Mr. Mint, but Plumpy was the funniest one. I also cheated at Pokemon Master Trainer, which is a board game that I absolutely love. I can't even remember now how I cheated at this game. The win condition wasn't who could beat the Elite Four first anymore. No, the win condition was who could make Nick cry first by making sure that he only ever got Jigglypuff or something. I don't even remember, but hours of entertainment. And the best part was that he kept playing with us. It was like he had some sort of Pokemon Master Trainer amnesia. Maybe he thought each time that it'd be different this time, but it never was. It never was. I did a couple other really bad game-related things. One of these things was in 7th grade when a friend of mine was playing Pokemon Yellow and I was playing Pokemon Red, and she didn't like the fact that she couldn't evolve her Pikachu. For some reason, she really wanted Raichu, and she thought that Raichu was going to continue to follow her around like Pikachu. Now, I was not a dumb kid. I knew that this wasn't going to happen. I knew that there's no Pokemon episode where Ash has a Raichu that follows him around, and so it was very, very highly unlikely that this was going to work and that Raichu, they probably didn't even have the coding in the game for Raichu to follow you around all the time, but 7th grade Kristina just liked to watch the world burn, and so I agreed to do it. I traded her Pikachu for some Diglett or something, I evolved it to Raichu, I sent it back, and then I watched for the disappointment on her face when she realized that Pikachu wasn't gonna follow her around anymore because Pikachu no longer existed. I think she cried too. The last thing I have to share with you guys is just one small example of the types of shenanigans I used to get into in middle school with my friend Kayla. We thought it would be hilarious to come up with a legit reason to skip half a day of school, and so we came up with a brilliant plan of pretending that some mean boys had stolen our backpacks and that we needed to go look for them rather than go to class, because obviously we can't go to class if we don't have our backpacks, right? We got to look through the woods, we got to look through other classrooms, we even used it as an excuse to go look through the boys' locker room, which was not a place that girls were allowed to go, but really, we had just stashed our backpacks around the back corner of the school, kind of behind a tree. And at the point when we became bored with our plan, just walking around doing nothing, pretending to be looking for backpacks, we just went and grabbed them and said, oh, we found them in the woods. Guess we can go to English now. We also, in our math class, had a table at the back of the class that our teacher would let 2 people sit back at because we didn't have enough desks. Makes sense. We didn't mind being the weird girls. We didn't care. It let us get away with a lot of stuff. So we were in, 6th grade math, but we took all the math books from 7th grade math and we stacked them all up on our desks, and we told our teacher that it was a fortress. He bought it. He thought that we were just like hiding back there, pretending to be weird kids, but really what we were doing was eating. We brought graham crackers and frosting and we just ate them all throughout class because nobody could see it through our fortress. I will probably make another one of these videos because clearly, as I have learned this past week, there is no shortage of terrible stories from my childhood. As always, I would like to know yours so I don't feel like I'm the only kid who was just bad all the time. Let me know in the comments below. Please share your stories and make us all feel better about ourselves. I hope you're having a great week. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.